All right, here we go. Ready? Okay. You sure you're ready, Hassan?
Let me just text my mom real quick.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I think we should be recording while he's texting his mother.
Hey.
Let me know when you're ready.
And good.
Welcome to Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast, a multi-generational discussion of movies.
Welcome to the party, pal!
I'm Ralph Quartucci.
I'm Sean Paul Murphy.
I'm Hassan.
I'm Al.
And if anybody's still listening, we're going to describe it again. But we are a multi-generational movie podcast, meaning Sean and I are in the older generation, basically baby boomers. And Hassan and Al are a little younger. Hassan's a millennial, and Al is
I'm an Oregon Trail baby, I guess, if you
I
will.
don't know what that means, but they're younger than us. Yeah. And this is a podcast that Sean and I were going to do alone, and we decided to open it up, and now it's multi-generational. It's been very interesting. We all have different takes on these movies, and it's been great. So Al gets to pick the movie today. Al, what is your movie?
Yes, Ralph. I selected the 1987 film Hellraiser, directed and written by Clive Barker. You may know his other works, such as Hellraiser 2 and Nightbreed.
Yeah. Nightbreed.
Yes.
Oh, was that a book or a movie? Nightbreed. I think it was a movie.
I think it was just a movie.
So
it might have been based on one of his books.
So Clive Barker wrote and directed the movie. This movie called Hellraiser.
Hellraiser, yes. He wrote the original novella called The Hellbound Heart, which he based this upon.
Did you read the books as well? The book?
I read Hellbound Heart, but it was a long time ago, and I don't really remember that much about it.
I read a number of his books as well, a number of his short stories.
Barker. Now, is he a horror writer?
Yes. The future. He was the future of horror.
Stephen King said that.
Yeah.
Did Stephen King say? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway,
we'll
let's
say that he said that.
We're going to play a movie preview of this, so we get a sense of what we're looking at. We've all seen the movie, but I want to see how the preview goes.
I have seen the future of horror. His name is Clive Barker.
I think Stephen King, he's going to be big someday.
Hellraiser. Beyond any terror you have imagined. A nightmare. No. Unlike anything you have witnessed, is born. Because within these walls, the unholy is unleashed. Hellraiser, a film by Clive Barker.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Coming to a theater near you.
Oh, just my soul?
Just your soul. All right.
And your
Al,
flesh.
Perhaps. Here we go.
Best part of the movie?
Tell us just a description
Why
of the movie.
did you pick this film?
No, I want to hear a description first.
Description.
Then we'll ask,
Okay, let's see. Description. Well, it is about a weak man who is married a domineering woman.
Why are you looking at Ralph?
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know, Ralph. Why am I looking at
A
you?
woman today, I went to get my eyes checked today, and she says, Quattrucci, what does that mean in Italian? I said, 4 wives. She didn't get it, but okay. So describe the movie.
Okay, I would say it's a fairy tale, in a sense. You have the evil stepmother who is married to the weak husband. He has a daughter who conflicts with the evil stepmother. And you also have
A monster.
a monster, yes. Monsters from another dimension that pay visit to a house in England.
No, it's not about them.
Does this take... No, wait a minute. You say house in England. The movie does not take place in England.
It does not?
The movie takes place in New York City.
What?
Yeah.
I always got that it took place
They used all English actors, but I mean, it may have been shot in England.
Well,
I'm not saying it isn't.
Robinson,
I'm saying that the movie takes place in New York City.
Okay,
As far as I
may be
understand.
the case. I mean,
Yeah.
they do make reference of Brooklyn
Right.
But I was
yeah,
always
yeah.
under the impression that they had like moved back to England for some reason.
I think
I thought they were
you're
referencing
confused
the movie
because
booklet.
they use a lot of English actors in this because originally it was supposed to take place in England, but I think they changed that. At least that's based on what I read. When I was watching the movie, I was looking at the
I see.
IMDb facts because
You were so bored by the movie that you needed to.
Well, I'll talk about why I was bored, but I want to hear why you picked this movie as one of the ones to give us. That's all.
Sure. So I grew up watching horror movies in the 80s. I was probably like 5 or 6 when I saw this film.
So this came out in
It
1987.
did.
How old were you in 87?
I was 4 in 1987.
So
I did not see it when it came out. I saw it on
Okay.
VHS probably like 90, 91, something like
Okay.
that.
That's enough to endear a movie to you that you saw it on
VHS. I know, it's awesome. That is. You know what VHS is, Hassan?
Yes, I know what VHS.
Okay.
Did you ever actually
I also
have one?
yeah.
What does VHS
I'm
stand
the
for?
one that I'm the one that
does it
had
stand
to
for? I'm
set
asking.
up the VHS for
Video
my
home
dad
system.
to teach him.
Is it video
to
home
record
system or
stuff
very
for
high
him.
speed or variable high speed? We're going to find out. What does VHS stand for? It means...
We learn something every week here.
Video home system.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
yeah, I knew that.
And Super VHS?
That would be super video home system.
All right, so you watched it at 90-something on...
Yeah,
now, was there a reputation? Did this movie have any kind of rep that you... Like, did you have to
Did you
sneak
seek
the
it out, or was
VHS?
it-
Yeah.
Ralph,
did you?
Ralph, I was 6. I just
But
went
I'm
basic.
saying when you watched it in 90, whatever, 90... You were 6 in 90?
Yeah, it was like 6 or 7.
Okay.
You know,
watched this when you were 6 or 7?
Who gave you the VHS at 6?
my parents probably
Kevin
rented it for
Spacey.
me.
Okay.
Okay, so in the 80s, they had great horror covers for VHSs, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes they would hide horrible, terrible films, but they had great, awesome art.
That's what it's all about.
This has a memorable...
Was he on the cover?
Yes, he
Pinhead
was.
on the cover.
Pinhead was on the cover with the box, as you can see on my shirt, which the audience
He
cannot
is
see.
wearing a Hellraiser
Demon to
t-shirt.
some, angel to others.
That's right.
Can I say I am extremely disappointed that his name in the movie is Pinhead?
Well, he doesn't
I
really
thought it was
have
gonna
that.
be
Yes,
Hellraiser.
that
That was
was
his
not
son's
his-
nickname as a child.
I thought his name was gonna be Hellraiser. Like what kind of scary
that
monster's
name was given
is
to them
Pinhead?
by guys on the set. That was not the name of the character.
Yeah.
And it just
He's a
stuck.
But in the
Cenobite.
captions,
Because he's got a lot of pins in his head. That's why
in
they
all the
called him Pinhead.
captions it says Pinhead says.
Well, now because he
known as Pinhead.
the only reason I know about this movie is because of Pinhead. Only because of the image of
because
Pinhead.
he's an
The reason I
iconic, like,
didn't
villain.
ever
He's
see
an
the movie
iconic
until
monster.
the only reason
Demon.
I never saw this movie until he gave it to us to watch because I thought it was going to be the goriest, sickest thing. I don't want to watch that kind of stuff
Me
because
too.
of Pinhead. Turns out I was wrong, but the fact is everybody knows about, and he wasn't even supposed to be the
Main guy.
main bad
Yeah.
person. It's turns out it's going to be somebody else, but he became so popular that here we are 2017
9
and there's
sequels, 8 sequels.
there's some more Pinhead movies
Yes.
coming out.
A new remake, it looks like.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, Al, you've met Pinhead
I have. I paid to meet him.
in your
As-
mind. Was it
as
another
you are.
dimension or was it in Vegas? Where was this?
This was in where was
solved
this?
the
This was in
puzzle.
Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Oh my God,
I've been to that one.
that sounds horrible.
Did he tear your soul apart?
No, but his girlfriend did.
Oh, that's right. She hit on you. Was that?
No, his girlfriend did not hit on me.
Oh.
We shared a connection. She grew up in Pittsburgh. I grew up in Pittsburgh. We both went to the same horrible school at different times.
Okay.
Anyway, back to
The movie.
the movie as to why I picked this one. You know, it's
Wait a minute, sorry.
well, oh yeah, I did name drop, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, you.
All right.
Well, I brought it. I mean, you didn't do it on. I asked you.
Yeah, but still.
Okay,
He
you're right.
named
I'm
it.
sorry.
Sean feels
Did
personally
we did that on my
victimized.
ET reference?
Yeah. We
Yes, we did.
Okay, good.
The fact that you said it again.
Anyhow, I think, you know, I didn't really, being a 6 or 7 year old, I didn't fully understand the
I hope
movie.
not.
But, you know, the image of Pinhead is indelible.
And
It's
he's
a
only
very
in the
strong
movie
image.
for how long?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Right. It's
And,
amazing.
you know, that's one of the great things that make great movie monsters is, you know, they're usually not in the film for very long.
It's funny you say that.
He's the nice Cenobite,
No,
too.
here's a funny, and I'm glad you brought that up
Yeah.
because I just started watching because I'm listening to You Must Remember This podcast,
Boris
which
and
is
Bela.
fantastic. They're doing one on Boris Karloff and Bela
It made me watch The Black Cat.
Well, I just watched Frankenstein for the first time. Going to admit it. Never seen the movie
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, the original, and Bride of Frankenstein.
Bride's great.
Okay.
Frankenstein, yeah.
I don't know why they're calling either one of these great, but that's not my point. My point is the image of Frankenstein, which is what's now in our DNA, he's hardly in this movie. Not Frankenstein, the monster. Frankenstein isn't even the doctor's Frankenstein. So the fact that I only know about this movie because of Pinhead, right? I only know the image of this movie because of Pinhead. It's just amazing how these things become in your brain as the image.
Yeah.
And now Frankenstein from that movie has become how the monster looks in every.
Well, I mean, this actor Doug Bradley has created a career based on this monster that maybe he at total runtime across all films is maybe 40 minutes.
Right. And he doesn't really do anything in the movies.
Like the tall man in the Phantasm movies.
You don't see him do anything.
Angus
he just
Scrimm.
talks.
Yeah, the other Cenobites are the ones that do all that.
Well, I mean, you know,
Snapchat.
he's the chain guy. He sends the chains.
But what? But does he just blinks in the chain? I forget what happens.
It's a psychic.
Yeah,
thing.
psychic.
I think we're jumping in too far. So tell us about when you first saw it and the effect it had on you.
So like, you know, VHS era, watching it at home. The things that are memorable to me are the Frank's transformation scene when Larry drips his blood on the floor and that sends the transformation scene, sets it in motion. Julia killing,
dudes,
the
chief
to
with the
feed
hammers.
Frank,
To the hammer murders.
Yeah, the hammer murders,
and they're all bald British guys. That's what I mean.
They're all schlubby.
They're all bald British dudes.
only some schlubby guy is going to go up into that creepy attic with her.
Well, she's meeting him in a bar and taking him back to the house.
Where some of those guys,
they're desperate. They're desperate men who are looking for some.
Well, they're at.
Why are you looking at Ralph?
What is stuff? You know, the people who are listening to this can't see that until you bring it up.
First time for everything, eh?
Why don't you take your jacket off?
Yeah. Why don't I? Why don't you do the same thing?
Maybe I will.
You're very beautiful.
Am I?
You know you are. Loveliest woman I've ever seen. Oh, Christ.
What's wrong?
Just 1 minute. Too much drink. Empty the old bladder. Did you lock this?
So you're a 6-year-old watching this woman pick up schlubby guys and bring them back to the attic.
Yeah, to kill
That's
them.
got to affect you a little, right?
I'm sure it has.
I think it has.
Well, see, okay, so Hellraiser wasn't like my first horror movie that I ever saw. One of my dad's girlfriend's sons showed me Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 4.
Oh wow!
Which with dreams and stuff like that, it kind of set
that
things.
was-
in
That
motion
was
for
probably the best horror movie of the 80s.
me. It was,
Yeah.
Really?
The original one? Yeah, definitely.
especially
Johnny
with Johnny
Depp.
The
Depp.
Shining came out in the
Johnny
80s.
Depp
You mean a
died.
slasher movie?
Did Shining come out in 80? I thought
1980.
it was 79. Okay, now I'm going to
That's a
take it back.
70s holdover.
Yeah, it was probably started. They probably started shooting it in 75. But,
It's funny though, the
It's
VHS idea that because when Evil Dead came out,
Yeah.
the big
Evil
thing
Dead
about
has
Evil
a
Dead,
very iconic. Evil Dead 2 has a very iconic cover.
but my point,
with the skull and the eyes.
But the point is that was a
haven't
movie
seen
that
Evil
kids
Dead.
only saw on VHS. They had to get like these pirated copies of this Evil Dead movie, right? And it became this thing.
Yeah.
The fact
so
that
the
you know,
Evil Dead was good.
yeah, but that was
Shining and,
80s, I
that was
guess.
85,
yeah.
something like
So 6-year-old kid, some brother of your father's girlfriend gives you Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
and
Debbie Does
it's
Dallas.
such well,
yeah,
how about that.
not that one.
Yeah. So it sets your your horror movie experience started like that with
Yeah.
VHS. Yeah. It explains why you. So okay. So get back to Hellraiser.
So Hellraiser. So let's see. I'm totally lost.
We just
So
want to know why you
saw
like
at
it.
6 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw it, and then that hit the image of him and the chatterer and the lady with the
Chatter, right?
the exposed larynx,
Right.
and the fat butterball one.
Yeah. There were
Why
four.
were you looking at me during that?
Finally, not at me. So there are 4 Cenobites or 3.
4.
Does he include? Is he a Cenobite?
Yes, he is.
The box. You opened it. We came.
It's just a puzzle box!
Oh no. It is a means to summon us.
Who are you?
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some. Angels to others.
It was a mistake! I didn't mean to open it! It was a mistake! You can...
We can't. Not alone. You solved the box. We came. Now you must come with us. Taste our pleasures.
Please, go away, leave me alone.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Wait, please wait.
No time for argument.
You've done this before, right?
Many, many times.
To a man called Frank Cotton.
Oh, yes.
He escaped you.
Nobody escapes us.
He did. I've seen him.
Impossible.
He's alive.
Supposing he had escaped us. What has that to do with you?
I can lead you to him, and you can take him back instead of me.
Perhaps we prefer you. I want to hear him confess himself. Then, maybe. But if you cheat us, we'll tear your soul apart.
Wait,
What about
is
the
fourth one
before
the
we go any
floating one?
further?
There's a
Before we
fat
get
one.
into which Cenobite, let's
Which Cenobite is your favorite Cenobite?
Oh, Pinhead, obviously.
Yeah.
Is that
and
thing
followed
that-
by a close second for a Chatterer? Maybe if he had more of a personality, but I like
But
the creature
from a
design on
movie
that.
standpoint, this was Clive Barker directed this movie.
First,
Yeah,
his
first
first
film.
Was his last one? I hope.
No.
No.
Can I may I take a moment to read Roger Ebert's
I would love to
review?
hear Roger Ebert's review of this.
I'll read the
Yes.
first paragraph and a half of it. So it's like, this is from Robert Ebert. He gave it a half a star. I have seen the future of the horror genre, and his name is Clive Barker, Stephen King. Now, there's a blurb Stephen King should have written under one of his pen names. He may have seen the future of horror genre, but he has almost certainly not seen Hellraiser, which is a dreary piece of goods has masqueraded as a horror in many a long, cold night. This is one of those movies you sit through with mounting dread as the fear grows inside of you that it will indeed turn out to be feature length. Obviously, he didn't like the movie.
Yes, I agree
does
with
he
Roger
know
Ebert.
about
I agree with
movies?
Roger, but
Didn't he write Beyond the Valley of the Dolls?
yeah, but
or
that's
something?
Yeah.
different. That's not right. Roger.
He didn't
Ebert-
review that
He
one.
also
That's not
listen. Roger
correct.
Ebert. Roger
not a
Ebert,
horror movie fan.
He didn't like Aliens either, or Aliens. He didn't like. So,
Well, he changed his review. He didn't like Unforgiven, too, but then he said that was a misfire.
but
Oh, you know what the worst thing about Roger Ebert is this? Because my grandmother had all these old what do you call it, those Reader's Digest, and there was a review in it of Night of the Living Dead, in which he says, like, this is the film that's going to destroy cinema. This is a horrible,
well,
nasty film.
yeah.
And then later on, Siskel and Ebert, when they do like the 10, like they did like the 10 great horror films, they put that in there in like one of the top ones, and they both talked about how much they loved it. And I'm like,
Well, you gotta
I
believe-
read your review, you bastard. You know.
so the first time you saw this movie was when you were 6,
Yes.
right? And
I think in terms of seeing it at 6, it was the imagery that was like
sure, because
imprinted.
you wouldn't understand anything
Yeah.
else. There's a lot of sexual undertones. Obviously, Frank and her are banging away up in her wedding dress and all that. So as a 6-year-old, but like the image of Hellraiser and faces being torn apart,
ripped off,
ripped apart. Yeah. Visually, the movie is interesting. The
Well-
stuff they did, it's all practical. I think a lot
Yeah,
of it.
except when they do the like digital effects, it's really
Well,
crappy.
those-
Like the
you mean
lightning, the
the
lighting.
superimposed digital effects. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
feel
they're saying about.
I feel like for that time, that was
Is
pretty
that
good.
digital though, or is that more like
No, that's
drawn?
probably drawn. That's
that's
probably
Yeah.
that's strong. But it's like I
so-
can't watch Ghostbusters when they like do the light effects and things like that because it's all that drawn.
Where,
stuff that
you
looks
gotta suspend your belief sometime, man.
Oh, back
Well,
to Birdman
things-
again.
Yeah,
Well, I think for me, because it's like an '80s film and I was a kid, like
it looks
I
like
get
a-
why you.
I can
It
look
looked like an
past all
Atari
that
game.
stuff. That's just
Well,
like a
because-
part of that film for me.
But again, back then in '87, okay, the superimposed stuff when they pull the box up and that the blue light.
Yeah.
But the effects of as Frank as
That's
his
all
body
practical.
as his body
some
is
great makeup.
some great stuff going on in there from
Yeah.
a makeup
I
standpoint.
mean,
and from
for me, the
practical effects. I mean,
for Frank's transformation scene is up there with the transformation scene in.
don't.
I'm gonna say it.
Don't.
American Werewolf.
No.
Yes.
No, I
that
guess-
John Landis directed
Yes.
movie.
Oh, boy.
American Werewolf.
Murderer.
Oh boy.
And not as good as like something in The Thing. The Thing is for
Well,
me.
the thing is the
top.
bar. That's the bar.
What year was
the
that?
thing is-
that was 80. That was like 81
Thing was
or
82.
something. 82. No,
we,
so but that's not horror. That's science fiction. So that was probably best science.
That's
fiction.
sci-fi
That's
horror.
a horror.
though.
That's a
Can
horror.
we
That's
show
body.
that transformation scene with the thing?
Yeah, let's show it.
Show what?
You pointed out, we'll show it.
The transformation scene.
Oh well, we
with
can't
the
see it.
thing.
We're a
Well,
radio
which
show.
transformation scene do we want to talk about? We could
Thing?
talk about the dogs transforming with the tentacles. We could talk about
Oh, you're
the
talking about
doctor
the thing.
getting his arms
Have, wait,
bitten off.
back up.
by-
Have you seen the thing?
No.
Okay, so don't worry about
All
it.
right.
That will
It's
that
not
will
worth it.
definitely
It's
be
not-
one of the movies we'll look at.
Yeah,
in the
we're gonna
future.
have the Hasana's. That's you know what you get two. Whatever the next movie is, you have to do two of them
What? Why?
because you need to see the thing. I can't believe you haven't seen the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, then someone pick the thing and
No,
I'll
no,
watch it.
no. I'm picking the next movie, and you get thing as a bonus. I can't believe you haven't seen the thing. So the thing was 82. This was 87.
Seven.
It's unbelievable how much better the thing is
But
compared
the
to
thing
this.
was a Universal picture.
Yeah.
This was
Oh, he
New,
did this
New
on a
World or
shoestring.
whatever was
Shoestring.
Roger Corman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the budget on the thing was $15 million, whereas for Hellraiser,
$12.
probably.
It looks like it. I don't mean that.
We have silence, dead air.
Oh,
The budget was $1 million.
Yeah.
So I
Does
mean,
that include
still-
the actors?
Still a lot of
I would
money.
assume so.
Oh my God. Well, that explains a lot.
So I mean,
Yeah.
comparatively
No.
for that scene alone, I think they probably spent
If they had
the
$1
whole
million
budget.
and they pulled that off,
Yeah.
frankly, that's pretty good.
No, I tell you what.
But from a story point of view,
The drawn on stuff sucks, but most of the makeup effects are really terrific. But the one that I hate is when she's being pursued by that thing where it has the mouth on the head on the bottom.
Oh yeah, well you could tell it's like
Yeah,
Super fake.
that is so fake that I would have cut it out of
But let me ask-
I would have
okay.
cut it out of the movie.
do you understand the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay for me, watching it now as an adult, for me it's like you
kind of like an adult.
so-called adult.
so-called adult. You have the wicked stepmother. You have Larry, who's a weak husband. He gets cuckolded by his wife and brother on their like
What-
By the way,
wedding night, or-
Larry played by who?
Andrew Robinson.
Who's he the son of?
Is he somebody's famous son?
Edward G. Robinson.
Oh, I didn't know that. But you know what? You
Also
could
played
definitely see-
Scorpio in.
I was about to say that's what freaks me out because I don't want to interrupt, but he was so freaking good in Dirty
He's-
Harry
right.
playing Scorpio.
Right.
But and he's such a wuss in
I don't
this
know
film.
I don't know the woman playing the main lady. What's her name? Julia.
She's been in a lot of English TV.
Yeah, I think
shows
she was probably a real actress. So was he.
Yeah.
But they all come off as stiff. Anyway, I'm sorry. We are.
We'll continue.
We should not trash.
Yeah, come
Let's
on.
continue.
We don't want to trash a movie yet. We'll do that later.
Yeah, well,
We got some time.
So you have Larry gets cuckolded on his like night before his wedding.
I understand.
They have sex on Julia and Frank have sex on her wedding dress.
Only 3 thrusts.
there was at least 5.
Well, they said more than 3 thrusts. It's a rated X.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so you have
They cut it with the thrusts with the mattress.
It was a half a thrust, I think.
They kept on going
Partial
back to
thrust.
the mattress.
It was a
to
partial
get
thrust.
around it.
No wonder he was seeking pleasure elsewhere. It could only.
But okay, so
wait, but you also if you watch the
so
movie,
you're already putting like metaphors on it. The wicked stepmother and the
Next, you're going to say he died at the third act, and then we
Yeah, right,
none
and
of
it's a
that is
Jesus
stuff
Christ.
that
It's a
was real.
Jesus allegory, and
no, I don't think it's well. I think
I forget,
Jesus
did you read
wept
the book?
line. The Jesus wept line was just thrown in there.
that's an awesome line,
Yeah.
by the way.
But
High point of the movie.
That he came up with.
Jesus wept.
I guess for me, the whole movie is like transgressive. So it's about infidelity. It's about bondage and sadomasochism.
So far, so good.
It's about incest.
Why didn't I like it?
Yeah.
What?
It's about incest.
Like Chinatown.
How's
This
it
is just-
incest?
this is just
Frank and his niece.
Frank's a brother-in-law.
No, Frank is
Oh, right.
Larry's
Frank
brother.
goes after the daughter.
Yeah, and not only does Frank go after the daughter, he goes after the daughter in her father's skin.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's like double incest.
It's double incest.
wow! I think
That crosses the line.
I misunderstood.
That-
Doesn't
yeah,
that
as bad
wait,
as
doesn't
incest is,
that-
that double crosses.
But
it.
doesn't that negate it?
No, that,
It's like you flip a battery the wrong. Doesn't that?
Yeah.
It's
so
not
now
incest
no, I think
anymore.
that's even worse. I think that's even. I
Oh,
think
it's
it's
double.
like putting 2 batteries together.
Oh,
Yeah.
But it's,
With,
wow! You know what?
it was only 3
I'm impressed that you pulled this. That's okay.
I mean, that's
So-
partly why I like it, because it is transgressive. It is not like the most well-made movie that
Wait.
has ever been made.
Shocker! Are you kidding me? You're actually going to admit that?
The movie takes too much time in that staircase during the.
They go up and down that staircase a lot.
I think that's the
and
main
and the
set.
idea that every time they look at the door thing, right? They look one door, then not to mention the continuity errors, the cut on this side, the thing on this side. I mean, but again, it's a first-time director. He had to direct in a house. That was a real house. That wasn't a set.
Yeah.
The attic was a set.
They
The
were
attic
probably
thing-
sleeping in that
Yeah,
house. too.
probably. The attic was the only set. The other stuff was all. So that stairway was actually a stairway in the house.
If you're shooting in a big house, I just want to say, in the movie business, it's always cool if it's a real set, a real house, to actually sleep there. That's
Oh,
cool.
well, I guess it.
Of course, people get there early and wake you up.
Yeah.
So, but that's another
Have you
story.
done that? Slept in a
No,
house?
but because other people got all the rooms first.
But I guess so when you first see Julia in a flashback when she first meets Frank, she's very nice.
She's at the front
And
door.
she-
That one where he walks at the front door.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's
in the rain.
raining.
I'm
It's
Frank.
raining.
Frank.
He's so sexy in the rain. That's
Yeah.
the other thing about Frank.
Well, it's like she's so nice and sweet, and then he takes her, and then she becomes like she becomes frigid towards Larry, at least, because she's been holding this like love for Frank this entire time.
I think it wasn't really love. I think it was more like lust.
Yeah,
Animal
extreme lust.
passion. Yeah.
Okay.
But you see, okay.
Care about her.
Now,
You're giving it a lot of back. You're really adding some
Okay,
weight
why-
to there. That that would look like a bad soap opera when he's at the window at the door and it's raining and she's in the wedding thing.
Well, the thing is, that I don't know why,
Okay,
but
you were
like,
it looks like the beginning of a D.H. Lawrence novel.
like the look of it kind of reminds me of Flowers in the Attic with.
You're not helping yourself.
that a
with
movie?
reference.
It is. It has.
V.C. Andrews.
Yeah. But it has that grimy, like soft looking, like 80s look, film look. I don't
It
know.
was like it was
80s
Cinemax
have
before
really-
Cinemax. I mean, it was right.
The 80s, to
I
me, as I'm watching movies now, the 80s are like, unlike the 90s, I haven't discerned the style, but 80s, there's a certain lighting to 80s.
Well,
movies.
do you ever see MacGruber?
No.
You haven't seen MacGruber?
I have to see MacGruber.
They do a sex scene in there that is a complete 80s sex scene that he flips and does a complete.
Yeah.
It's you got to. I'll give you the DVD.
Okay, so-
I don't think I have that on Laserdisc.
So Ellen Burstyn. Oh no, wait, never mind. This is accident. We'll edit that out.
Ellen Burstyn.
Ellen Burstyn.
What the
Wait a
heck?
second.
That was the
As a cameo.
that was the 2014 version.
Of what?
Nurse Ratched was in the original Flowers in the Attic. She played the evil grandmother.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
would
Oh, the
abuse
woman who
Louise
played
Fletcher.
Nurse Ratched.
Yeah.
You mean? Oh,
Louise Fletcher.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of has that look
Yeah.
that I associate, because that's another film that I saw when I was young, which was kind of messed up.
It's just, I mean, you watch the trailer of this movie and it looks like a real movie. When you watch the movie, I was telling Sean, it's like it's just like they took the film and you took a bunch of, like from an editing standpoint, especially, we may talk about the second one. There was a sequel to this, if you can believe that.
Which is really good. You should.
And
see
it's like, and it's like they just took scenes, threw it up in the air, and go, oh, here's how it landed.
In the trailer or in the movie?
The movie. No, the trailer looks well cut.
Yeah.
Well done, because nobody has to say anything.
Yeah.
Like the woman who plays the girl.
Wait, are we talking about Kirsty or Julia?
The daughter.
Kirsty is the daughter of Larry, the weak-willed husband.
Yeah, I feel sorry for. I tell you, the acting is where this movie dies.
The acting, not the directing. Because you talk about, okay.
The editing.
Well, you know what? I think
Because Robinson isn't a bad actor.
What?
The
Robinson is a good actor.
Good actor. How did he look in this one?
He did not look good. I don't think he's a bad actor.
We're trashing on it. You said you liked this better than.
Oh, I definitely liked it better than you did.
Well,
but
I watched both. I couldn't take my eyes off this one.
Well,
see, so you must have liked something about it.
I couldn't take my eyes off it.
See, again, it must have been interesting
I couldn't
enough.
believe that somebody would actually make it. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for. Honestly, it was about the Pinhead character.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see what is it's a completely visual thing with this guy, and he was in an allusion to him, or an allusion or whatever. An homage to him was in that Cabin in the Woods movie.
Yeah.
Both the box and him.
And, I was going to mention
he had a
that.
saw through the mouth, but it was a saw through the mouth, not the pinheads, but it was an allusion to him. Pinhead was everything for me to watch it, and then there was nothing.
He was there.
He was there. You're right.
But
he was there.
He was there.
He was
I
in
was
the box.
expecting-
He was in one of the boxes.
And I was also expecting some gross, like there was some stuff in there that was pretty
Why
gory.
were you
but-
expecting gross?
Because
I recommended it?
No, because I had heard. No, I heard this about before.
Wait,
you
why were you
recommended.
expecting Pinhead in Cabin in the Woods?
I wasn't. I was saying
okay.
he's
a
so
pivotal
iconic.
archetype now.
He's so
Yeah.
iconic that he's now in our conscious, like Frankenstein is. Well,
Yeah.
not the monster. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Frankenstein's
Well,
monster.
here's my problem.
Frankenstein's monster. Yes.
One thing I liked, I can tell why they cast Andrew Robinson is for the end when Frank takes him over. That's pretty cool, and the cool stuff with him dying at the end. That's cool.
Yeah, because the actor who
But
played Frank.
Claire Higgins, who plays Julia, and I'm not going to fault her because she has a long and distinguished career. Not like not stuff that we'd all see here, but she obviously can act. But a lot of times you'd see her reactions, and you're sitting there thinking her reactions are totally divorced from what
She
is
didn't know
going
she
on.
was doing a horror movie.
She did. Yeah, it's like I'm
She.
just
I
sitting
read
there,
that in
she's just killing
IMDb.
me.
She didn't know.
Well, reactions to what exactly?
Like sometimes she'll be like, her reaction shots are always wrong. So like she can't decide when she's supposed to be horrified or when she's going to be filled with lust.
Because she didn't know she was doing a horror
but
movie.
isn't that the point? She can't, like, her character can't
And,
decide whether she.
but if
is
you
horrified.
saw
Oh,
intelligence,
she's
behind
dealing with her
eyes.
like, oh my god, I don't know why I love this guy, but I can't help it. It's just I'm gonna hammer dudes in the head for him.
Yeah, and so to me, she kills it. The Kirsty character, I think, is a
Kirsty.
better actor,
It's Kirsty.
But I'm just amused by her because I think she's dressing like Cyndi Lauper.
Well, I mean,
she is so 80s that to me that's a good thing because it just reminded me of.
Is this the version that
crazy
had the
80s
guy eating
time.
the grasshoppers?
Yes,
in
yes. There.
Yeah.
That was gross.
That
was
character.
random.
And that's the devil.
I'm
We think. We don't
I'm
know who he
assuming
is.
that's
He's a
the
dragon.
devil.
Yeah,
I mean, he turns.
He
into,
flies away at
yeah.
the end, and
a
he's
skeletal
in
dragon
the,
at the end, right?
yeah, and he's in the
It's
second one
it's
too.
like what? How
As
does
a
that
dragon?
fit in?
No,
How does that fit
Okay,
in?
how does
can't-
anything
I can't-
fit in this? This is the
Well, okay, so like
It's a serviceable
Why does he keep
plot.
going after Kirsty?
Well, here it's a great little plot.
What's the plot?
The plot is
You open up the box, and the
And the guy
Cenobites
gets
come
some-
after
but-
you.
and now
Once
the-
you
it's
open
a
up the
guy-
box,
it's a
wait a minute.
journey.
Wait a minute.
The
Once you
hero's
open up the box, you're in hell.
No,
No,
once you open up the box, you
the
get
box. Okay, Frank. Let's talk about Frank for a second.
Let's talk about Frank.
Okay, he
bought the box
He's a
from-
bad boy. He's
He's a naughty boy.
He is a naughty boy. He's obviously gone through life to a point where he can't feel anything anymore.
Like
so
me.
in order to transcend humanity or whatever, he buys the box in order to get this ultimate experience, which he clearly doesn't.
Can I ask you a serious question?
He clearly doesn't know what he's doing.
Are you getting that motivation from the book or from the movie?
I'm getting it from the movie.
Did you read the book?
I get that.
Wait.
I got that from the movie.
How?
He went through all of life's pleasures, all the pictures with all the sex stuff he did.
Yeah, you're all the
all
girls.
Oh,
all
so
the
he
stuff
needed
in
something-
His room.
Yeah, something
He
he
go to
needed
the next
something
level.
more.
else. It's like how
So he goes to
it's
the
like
Mogwai
first time he
guy
tried
with the-
DMT.
Yeah.
He
So
goes,
having
Mogwai guy.
so he's had sex with lots of girls. He got bored with it, so he wants hooks through his body and his flesh torn.
Well, no,
away.
He didn't want that, right?
He knew the box.
No, he
he
wanted
knew
pleasure.
the box.
Oh,
Promised.
so because they give you both
Worldly
pleasure and
pleasure
pain, the
and-
Cenobites.
And he didn't
The pain
care.
is the pleasure.
and he
right?
didn't care how.
Okay, that's.
So this is the whole like BDSM thing of the
And
movie.
you got that when you were 6 years old?
No, this is
Okay.
me now.
Okay.
Now he gets into
Wow.
it.
So the 6-year-old thing is Pinhead, the transformation, her feeding Frank the dudes, and maybe the skeletal dragon thing at the end, right?
Right.
But now it's like there's, even though this movie is not successfully edited or acted or whether, there's still like
Or shot.
shot.
Right.
There's still like themes there.
I got it.
and
Unlike Birdman.
and because I enjoy like
Shots.
transgressive filmmaking, I enjoy like transgressive themes. So like I like there's this weird double ancestry thing going on, and that, you know, the point is to transcend your human flesh to go to this other dimension to see where you can find pleasure, and then you find these travelers who are willing to give it to you, but it's more than you bargained for.
You
know,
are giving this movie way more.
No, I got all of that.
Yeah,
I just couldn't
you know
get
what?
past
I
the
got all
acting.
that.
His
I still
description
didn't like it.
is better than you heard Siskel and Ebert talk about. You know a movie is bad when if somebody sits and talks about the movie and it's way better than the movie, the movie sucked. Okay? Now, from what you just said, that makes the movie interesting. But his movie ain't it. It is for you, and that's
Yeah.
fine. And maybe if I look at it again, based on what you just told me, I might get a different. But
Now, Al. Yeah, okay.
it was not done well. Like, I didn't get
I mean, for me, that's forgivable.
Yeah.
what, me not liking it?
No, because even though it's not done well, that's forgivable because the ideas are there.
There's
Okay,
different
he was
parts
going
in the
for something.
movie.
Yeah,
Right, and he just wasn't
and
polished.
and
he-
it's different.
And he had no money. I mean, $1
Yeah.
million is nothing.
That's why I was saying I wish they'd have picked Lord of Illusions better. You know, Clive Barker's film came out years later, because I thought that was a better movie overall, but not as iconic as
Who's
this
in that
movie.
lore?
Scott Bakula.
Oh, I know that one.
Bakula,
Yeah.
Is that where he goes in the gray? He like.
There's like a magician.
Yeah.
That magician
Oh,
society.
see,
and all.
that's
What
a
movie is
good
that?
one.
Lord of Illusion.
Yeah,
I went with the iconic one.
I like Scott Bakula. That's why.
You know,
It's because you like Quantum Leap,
I do.
especially the JFK episode.
Oh my god.
so
That's right.
you know, here's a question you can. Maybe I missed this, and maybe you can answer it. Okay, so she's killing these guys
Yeah,
with the hammer, and he's like devouring some of their flesh and blood, and they're like little skeletons when they're done that they can easily lift up. Where is she putting all of these? She's not like
Wait.
hiding them.
They're in that other room.
They're
They're
in the
room
other.
across the hall.
I can't remember if you
But
see
you
that
can
in 2
notice
or
that.
not.
No, you see it in 1.
Okay.
Well, I think
Yeah,
they're.
but
put-
I
them
mean,
in the
she's
room.
like hiding them in the house.
I think they're. Yeah,
How
she
many
is.
dead bodies
Yeah,
can you
there's
hide in
no
the house
way
before
she's like,
somebody-
Well, they're not.
She
They're
She
just
only
skeletons.
kills like 3 or 4
They're not,
of these
he
guys.
sucked all their life.
After one,
Oh,
you got
the
one
first
room.
one-
It's not a giant house. You got one room where you got
I think
the
it's
skeletal brother.
the room directly across the hall
Yeah.
from the attic is where
It
she's
is,
putting
but
them.
also they're basically mummified. He sucked out all of the juice,
You're right.
so
They're,
it's not
they're,
going to
yeah,
stink.
there's no flesh. There's nothing. It's just a skeleton at
Okay,
that point.
I'm willing to go that, but I would rather have set it down and go, wow, it's amazing how these don't stink and won't alert the rest of the people living in the
Oh,
house.
you're looking up. So, oh my god. All right.
I would be horrible screenwriting to say that.
So
but to me, that kept
the
bothering me
movie
every time
had
she
not an
killed
ounce of
somebody.
realism in it.
But see, that's
It's
that's
magical
you.
realism.
You
For
are,
me.
You
For
love
me.
realistic films. I like films
No,
that aren't.
let's back
anywhere
up a
near.
second. Let's back up a second.
Hey, dude, back up.
I understand that some movies are going to have some metaphors and things some allegories. Okay, I understand allegories, right? I'm telling you I do, so you have to believe me.
Yeah, I believe you.
You're a reliable character.
I can't name one right now, but I think I could understand allegories. Every movie is an allegory about something. Every movie represents something that writer was writing about, correct? But the movie has to I mean, I just don't. It
What-
just didn't. It didn't. It was crazy. I mean, it just went
What's the-
nowhere.
yeah, but
but I
what's wrong
couldn't.
with that?
Honestly, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't take my eyes off it. I couldn't because I couldn't believe it was going to get worse than the last scene, and it got worse and worse.
I don't know.
And
How did it get worse?
I thought it got better at the end when Frank. I don't understand how he made the transformation into Frank into Larry.
Great
But once
names,
it was,
by the
once
way.
but finally, it's
Larry.
like Andrew Robinson was unleashed in that scene. You know, it's like
I mean, as an
suddenly
actor.
he's as an actor, he
Right.
suddenly
and
has
he did
fun.
look different.
Yeah.
He looked. There was
He
a
had that
look.
look- there was
Yes,
that look in his
exactly.
eye.
Because maybe, and that shows how good he is. Because as Larry, he was kind of being
Yeah,
cuckolded
I was
and
just
all that.
wishing someone would hit him in the head. I thought it'd probably do him a
While
favor.
the mattress
get
guys
him
were
out of
hitting on the
zip.
wife while they're putting the mattress, while he's helping with the mattress.
Yeah.
I thought everybody he ate recreated his old body. I didn't know he was like
Go to turn
taking
into-
parts of other
Well,
people's
then
body.
ultimately he was trying.
In
Yeah,
which
she
case, I
dragged
feel like
Frank.
his
that's a good-
own skin would
So
have
Larry,
regenerated
why did
instead
he
of
become
Larry's
Larry?
skin.
That
and
was
not the
my
other
next
guys.
question.
These little short bald old.
I would assume
British guys.
I would
Because they
assume
weren't
because
top
the
billed.
jig was up and he didn't have time to get another.
Ultimately, he was trying to get his own body
Yeah,
back.
he
or
was trying to get
somebody
his
else?
own skin back, but I
He
think
sort of transformed himself.
I think ultimately like Kirsty had discovered what was going on, and he didn't have time to get another victim in order to complete the process. So
His
he
skin did come off easily when it got scratched.
so he did so
Jesus
he took
wept.
the skin of Larry.
and put it on.
Yeah.
Who's the other horror person that does that?
Hannibal Lecter or no, Buffalo Bill.
Leather-
Does
oh,
what?
Yeah, it's Buffalo Bill. It's Buffalo Bill.
That's not, I don't consider that a horror
Takes
movie.
people's
I consider that a thriller.
What, Silence of the Lambs?
Silence of the Lambs.
Well, yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't call it a horror movie,
Yeah.
but it's definitely got some.
But as
Horrific
far
elements.
as far as like characters go, Kirsty is probably a waste. Her boyfriend is definitely a waste. There's
I
no
loved
point for
his
him.
shirts though. Those shirts that
Yeah,
he
you
was
had
wearing.
those shirts.
I don't know if I had them. I loved
As
them.
far as like
shout out
character
now.
arcs, it's Julie and Frank is the most interesting because she starts out, she has incredible lust for him, whatever. After he takes her and
He kills her though, right?
right, exactly. So
Because he
like
doesn't care about her.
she'll do anything.
What a bastard.
Wasn't that an accident though? Didn't he accidentally stab
he
her?
didn't
was-
care.
He
But
was
while
going
she's
for the.
dying, he might as well suck the life out.
Well, once he realized he stabbed her, he was like, whatever, right?
I mean,
But
he never
still
cared. He just
even though this person is totally devoted to him and will, kill for him, he still like turns on her in the end.
Right.
he
so-
turned on her after they had sex
Frank
the
was a
first
dick.
time. He was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
"That's
Frank
it. I
was
need."
not
He
in
was
Like
like,
you
"I
said,
need
Frank
more."
is like looking out for himself. He wants whatever I can get all the time. So explain to me, Frank wanted to be in hell getting torn apart.
Yeah.
I think the idea was to transcend the flesh and to achieve like a new form of pleasure.
Didn't seem to
However,
work.
obviously the chains came out of the box and tore him to pieces.
Can I just honestly say right now, I'm glad that's an allegory that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand that.
What? Don't
got
understand
that.
What?
Transcending to have my flesh torn apart for pleasure.
That's the
I don't
thing,
get it.
though.
For who?
For
For
millennials.
some people.
It's for millennials. That's what we
Hey,
do.
some older people
Life
are
isn't
very
bad enough.
into
You
that.
gotta someone tear your flesh to make you feel better. How about I throw some
Some
darts
people
at you?
see
I'm looking at those. How about I just whip
I'm
some
not
darts
saying
at
I'm not saying that that's my thing
Okay.
yet.
Oh,
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Not yet.
But I'm gonna be honest. Couldn't take my eyes off it, and so much that when this was over, I
I can't believe you watched.
got
the sequel.
number 2,
I went number 2.
which
And the film came out.
I went number 2. Then I had to go up to
did
the
you
bathroom.
you transcended?
Yeah.
Hey, listen. If you want to find out Pinhead's origin story, watch number 2. You find out in the first 5 minutes.
You barely. Oh, right, you do. But yeah,
Now,
I don't get it.
here's the thing, and we should let Hassan speak, but bringing Ebert back in, he always says the problem is that they always remake good films. This is a film that didn't need the sequels, and I hope they do it. This is a film, usually I like a short film, but this is a film I would like a little more now. I would like to have seen more of Pinhead.
Yeah,
I would like
which
to
you
have seen
see
him
in
talk.
part 2.
Yeah,
Barely, but
but
it's not really that much more
They
either.
should remake this film They should remake this film this original story.
I still
think
think
could
less
be
is
done well
more.
with good actors and a better director. This could be a really good horror movie. It could be classic, iconic. It's iconic now, but it could be really good if it was done.
But I guess in terms of like thinking about like even though it's shoddily made, what movie is there that's like this from the 80s that deals with like these kinds of themes?
80s?
That's okay. You got me. What transcendent?
Well, just like
this transgressive.
Yeah, this with the transgressive nature of the movie.
Hellraiser. I can name that one. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Oh my God! You made my
If
head
there was a
explode.
quiz, I wish I'd known before. I could have done some study.
Yeah. Let me go on the. Let me see. Transgressive movies from the 80s.
Hassan, what did you think? You've been pretty quiet.
you've been
help
quiet
us
as
out
hell.
here.
I was gonna say the thing
Did you
about-
like this movie?
I liked that like someone used all those themes in a movie and came up with it, but I did not like the movie. But
did
Where's
not like
Ralph
the
going?
movie?
yeah, I didn't like.
You didn't see it in Egypt between Jackie Chan movies?
I didn't like that. I didn't get like where was he getting the box from?
He bought it from the Mogwai guy. Come on.
Mogwai.
Yeah, that was a
either that or a
bit.
gremlin. But he took
Then
the
like
box
you could
instead.
hear and you could hear like. It seemed like it was like more of a Middle Eastern country though.
Yeah,
And I
it's
was
sort
like,
of
it kinda, like,
derogatory.
completely
Well, it
threw
could have
me
been-
off.
Yeah, that part was kind of
What that?
Like-
You mean where he buys the box?
Yeah,
Well, they come back to it at the end. Another dude buys the box.
yeah, but it's still in the same place from
Right.
the same guy.
Yeah, where's that guy getting the boxes?
Well, nowadays he wouldn't have to go. He could get it, on the internet.
Yeah, but why exactly? Why is that same Asian guy? Yeah, I think he's
that I
Asian.
can't explain.
And why?
I
is
think
the
that was
Asian
just
guy-
slapped on there, probably.
You think that was slapped on? Yeah,
Something was actually slapshot
I
on
think
this.
someone slapped. Yeah,
It was like a double like stereotype because it had like that mysterious Asian guy providing the
The box to hell.
box thing, but it was also like in a Middle Eastern country where like you get like all these like.
It's a double stereotype.
It is with double incest.
well, I heard the
Yeah,
double.
double
incest.
stereotype. Double your pleasure. Double your fun. Double your
It's amazing though that how popular the. I mean, it's like I said, 2017. There's still how many sequels were made?
I think there are 9. The ninth one does not have Doug
Who
Bradley
is-
I
in
had
it.
never seen this movie, and I was also surprised that like when I saw Cabin in the Woods, I was like, "Oh, it's that guy." It's Pinhead. I didn't know his name was Pinhead.
What
at the
did
time,
the
but I was like, "Oh,
what
it's-
did the actor that you met? Did he say anything? Did you have a conversation with him?
No, because I was too busy talking to his girlfriend.
I think you were showing
dude.
judgment. That is pretty good. Was she in a movie?
No.
Oh, because I was gonna hit the bell again if she was.
Excuse me, I had it.
Oh, okay. I'm glad that was
Ralph's
a beer.
opening beers.
I thought it could have been something else. So, by the way, I'm the only one not drinking a beer, but I was drinking lemonade. Now
Nice.
more
Hard
water
lemonade.
Water.
with a taste
of cocaine.
lemonade. Cocaine. No.
There's cocaine in his lemonade.
I'm sure there was a lot of cocaine on the set. I'm just guessing.
Maybe.
It was
Oh
the
my God.
80s.
Yeah.
87. That was during the snowstorm period.
He's from Hollywood. He would know.
Yeah.
I've seen Hollywood from
Does that
Baltimore.
require a ring?
No, cocaine. No,
Being from
no,
Hollywood.
we're not.
No, no,
we're
ring.
not. No, we do not condone.
We
the
do not
ringing of
condone
cocaine.
drugs or
Right.
ringing of the bell for drugs.
And it's interesting. Again, I thought there was going to be a lot more gory, and that's why I never watched
it was
the movie.
very gory.
But not. It wasn't like
wasn't
Eli
like-
Roth.
It wasn't
gory.
like Blood Feast or something.
No,
or-
it wasn't like any of that stuff. It was
they-
actually quite tame.
Did they do the whole thing where they use pig's flesh for the hook thing? Do you know?
I have no idea.
That the hook stuff.
Yeah.
That looked like leather. Someone's leather jacket
maybe
they
it
had
was
on the
leather.
set. What can we make look like skin? I have a brown leather jacket. All right, we'll throw some hooks in that. Let's see what happens. No, it all looked
I heard there was a thing where like they used like dead pigs to.
for this movie.
No, for
That
like,
would be
generally
unclean.
In horror movies. Like,
I saw
That would be transgressive.
I just saw something where they, yeah, I read something that they were using pig flesh and pig guts
For
to,
horror
yeah,
movies.
yeah, I forget what it was, but yeah, it might have been this one. I have no idea.
You're not
Did
allowed
he-
to kill animals now. for
Did he
movies.
direct any more? Clive Barker?
Yeah, he directed like at least 4 other
I'm pretty
features.
sure he did
He
Nightbreed.
directed Nice Beast. He directed Lord of Illusion and one other thing, I believe.
oh, he did Lord of Illusion.
Yeah. He got some skills. For a directorial debut of a guy who's a writer and therefore not fluent necessarily in film, he did a pretty good job, and he was really most of that budget went to makeup.
I had to.
Yeah,
That Frank makeup, the red, skin body
there
thing.
was really some good.
The
makeup.
thing I also want to bring this up. The thing that I associate with that movie too is so Frank is skinless throughout most of the film. There was a interstitial on Nickelodeon called The Inside Out Boy, and what happens with this character is he swings over a swing set and he gets turned inside out, so he's like skinless, and you can see all his like muscles and organs and stuff. So I like kind of associated that with that.
Was that a kid show?
It was just like a short interstitial on Nickelodeon during like the early 90s.
What the hell?
I think you've had some problems. I think we're gonna have the police follow you home.
Wait, that sounds like cocaine induced memory. I don't know what the hell.
I could show it to you.
No.
Look it up on
No,
YouTube.
no.
I'm good.
YouTube.
We'll
Inside
make
Out
that.
Boy.
Well, next week we'll make that next week's movie.
That'll have to be my homework.
Oh, I also want to mention the score. I love the score, as opposed to like some crap that David Shire puts out.
Wow.
Whoa!
Yeah, shots fired.
Shire hate. Shire shade.
Yeah,
Call that Shire shade.
That's 4 episodes ago, and you're going back and nailing that, or 3 episodes ago, and nailing that.
I think with any other score, the film would have felt a lot more flat in terms of like.
I don't even remember this. What's the score? I mean, I know what a score is.
I'm not
but
going to sing it for you.
No, but is there...
It's orchestral, and it's kind of like a dark orchestral thing. And when you see Pinhead for the first time, you know, there's a big swell.
There's orchestral movements in the dark.
Yes, exactly. Great band. Not as good as Spandau Ballet.
Anything with ballet in it.
Oh, my God.
Anyway,
Hey, Black Swan. That's another one we should do.
I do want to mention that
I've never
It's
seen
too
it.
recent. It's really good.
the Coil, a music group Coil from the 80s, they did an alternate score for the film that was not used, so check that out. It's much more subdued, and there's like music box music for the box scene. But I think with that score, with no one else hearing it,
You don't think that's
no
going
one
to work?
has heard it yet. It's much more subdued and not as good as what they ultimately used. Because I feel like...
Look at all the money they spent just on that having another score.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They could have spent on acting.
Well, you got to wonder, like...
I think, by the way, when I say the actors are bad, I think...
Again, I don't blame the actors.
Yeah, I don't blame the actors.
Except
I really
the guy with
believe...
the cigarette in his mouth. That guy.
Yeah, I really believe they were probably not directed properly. And when they were probably dealing with things they weren't seeing necessarily.
Well, here's the other thing. They were all British actors, I think.
And they were
Not the main people.
Not actually.
Like
Lawrence.
Frank was a British actor with an American voice dubbed in. And you got to wonder if like the boyfriend was a British actor with an American dub voiced in, which helps explain some of the clunkiness of the acting, right?
Yeah.
Now the main guy, Larry Robinson,
Yeah.
he had his normal, he was an American, guy. So you just wonder if that added to it had to have added to the clunkiness. But the Kirsty.
Krishna.
She
Come
was
to
over
daddy.
the top in everything she did. Everything was.
I thought she was better than Julia.
Well,
She was
I don't know about that.
Julia was kind of a sex kitten in that,
She couldn't figure out when to be a sex kid.
Well,
and
she
when
had to
be
bring the
her-
guys back to hammer them in the head and all that. So she had to kind of.
What about the weird scene? And maybe is when
Oh, right.
What's weird scene?
when she's trying, when Larry's trying to have
Weird
sex
scene.
with her, and Frank turns up in the bedroom
with the rat.
and he skins the rat.
What's with that?
Well,
Well,
What the hell?
It's foreshadowing for what he's going to do to Larry.
Yeah, but did he when Larry got out of bed? Did he notice rat skins?
No,
on
Larry-
top of
Larry is an unobservant, weak-willed guy.
very unobservant.
I think he was an alcoholic. I think they were playing off that he was drinking all the time.
Could
I
be.
mean, I think that was brought up a couple of times. That I
If
think
I was married to Julia and I had my wife upstairs killing people with a hammer,
he
I'd
didn't know
drink
that.
too.
He didn't know that. He
Well,
didn't know
I
he
think
should.
He didn't even know she was
subconsciously,
sleeping
you
on
know
the-
when
How
your
many
wife is
times
killing
did they walk up and down the attic stairs?
Seriously.
Yeah. There was a lot of attic stair walking going on in
Yeah.
that. So,
It's a good movie. You should go see it.
okay, I hated the movie and I couldn't take my eyes off it. I told you,
It's worth at least seeing once.
you have to see it, I guess, and then
See
if
number
you
2.
really want to see one that his number 2 is just literally number 2.
No way. Number 2 is great.
So none of the other Hellraisers were directed by Clive Barker?
I don't even think
No.
number 2 was.
No,
No.
it wasn't.
Did Pinhead ever direct one of them?
No.
The guy playing Pinhead?
Nope.
Now, what was his shtick in New Jersey? Was he just there to sign his... Was he dressed
Yeah.
as Pinhead?
No, he wasn't dressed. Well, he's doing that now, but before he was just there signing stuff. As
Yeah, you go, you
typical
sign
convention.
stuff.
Is he
you
the
know.
Pinhead in all the other Pinheads?
Except for the last one. They replaced him.
When
What
was
about the
last
one that's
done?
shooting now?
I have no idea.
They should. They don't bring him in unless he
They're
looks
not
really
going to bring him
old.
in.
Will he be like older Pinhead?
Yeah.
Pinhead new
He
guy?
played Pinhead's father. He
He has
introduced us
like
to
a
the new.
Pinhead beard. Beard of pins.
I think it'll be sort of like that new Star Wars film with you got Harrison Ford in there, and the.
So bring Pinhead back, maybe little Pinheads.
They
Son
do,
of Pinhead.
They do have different Cenobites throughout the series. It's
Just to keep it
it's mainly just
interesting.
him.
I don't get the they just. I mean, they didn't do anything.
They
They kind of the chatter guy, yeah, and the girl with the larynx thing opened up. Were they the ones whipping spears or just or
Oh,
whipping?
come on, Hassan. You can't kick the mic like that.
Was he whipping hooks? Were they all whipping hooks?
No, it was just that's his thing. That's,
Well, at least he had personality in the sense that he was willing to make a deal with her.
Okay. Let me ask.
But then the
This
girl-
movie was made in when? 1987.
Yes.
What other horror movies? Let me see if I can Google.
what other horror movies came out in the 80s? Or
I want to.
1987.
I want to know what 19. I want to see what was out that same time. Oh, thank you. Find me a list of horror movies made in 1987. Stand by. Wow.
Okay, Evil Dead 2 is better than Hellraiser.
Slightly.
Lost Boys is very
Look
good.
at that. Hellraiser, Monster Squad. I've never seen that.
Wolfman Has Nards. You've never seen Monster Squad?
Oh, Near Dark.
Near Dark is the best.
Have you seen that
yeah,
one?
I have.
That
seen
was
it.
great. So I'm going to revise this.
Creep Show 2, Prince of Darkness.
I don't
John
know.
Oh, I
Carpenter.
hated that one. The
It's-
titles were, that movie
And
was
you're
so
right, Nightmare on
badly
Elm
edited.
Street.
The titles were
Oh, that was
so-
87?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Sorry about
Oh, that was a good one.
Which one? Nightmare on Elm Street
1 and 3 are the
Three.
best.
Really?
Yeah. So this was up stiff competition for this. So
There were
it's
two good
amazing that
vampire
this
films
one.
that year.
Well, Near Dark is one of them. What's the other one?
Lost Boys.
Yeah.
That was like a real smorgasbord for
Yeah.
pedophiles.
Corey
We're gonna
Feldman
bring
might
that up
disagree.
again?
And Corey Haim, yeah. They were,
Oh my God.
no, I think he named the guy
does
that
every
was from that movie.
pod-
That guy,
It was John Grissom.
John Gissam.
I thought it was
He
Grissom.
was alleged to have molested Corey Feldman on the set.
He brought his name up. He
Yeah,
said
he brought
it.
his name up. Yeah, yesterday.
Is every podcast now going to have some pedophile story or some
The ones we
abuse
do
story?
today.
I tried to avoid it with this one, but we went to Lost Boys, so sorry.
What are we going to do? Well, I did that. I looked at 87. So Evil
That
Dead
was
2.
actually a good year for horror movies, I will say. That was
Well,
a good
if
year.
Lost Boys, Evil Dead 2, Prince of Darkness, yeah.
Michael Keaton didn't do anything, did he?
I mean, if you want
Michael Keaton.
if you want to
Boys-
talk about having like one location and having a horror film,
Yeah.
obviously Sam Raimi did amazing job.
Yeah, but he
with
didn't just
Evil
have a
Dead 2.
stairwell.
He did not have a stairwell.
Wait,
Hey,
Sam
well, there
Raimi-
was the staircase down into the
The
basement.
basement.
Yeah,
Sam Raimi did what?
Evil
Yeah,
Dead
that too.
And Evil
1
Dead 2.
and Army of Darkness.
And Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
I've seen Evil Dead.
What?
What?
Oh, boy.
You didn't see Evil Dead 2?
I didn't see Evil Dead too.
Lost Boys?
No.
Oh, man.
Look at this.
Where am I
this is-
supposed
this
to
is our
find the
problem.
time?
The time. You did yoga today. How long did that take?
An hour.
You gonna watch the horror movie
It's
during
not
that?
enough to watch a movie.
I know. You probably were trying to watch Marathon Man while you were doing that.
No. I did that way before. I woke
We
up
did that
early.
weeks ago when we recorded that one.
So,
I just want to say,
by the way, you've done a good job selling your movie.
even
It
though
almost makes me think the
Even though-
movie's
But
not as bad as I thought.
even though those movies are great, like Evil Dead and Nightmare on Elm Street 3, they still don't have the themes that Hellraiser has. The transgressive themes.
Okay.
And I think that's what...
Makes it stand above those?
I'm not going to say that it's better than those, but it stand out from those.
Okay.
Those other horror movies kind of
Well,
have like more one-dimensional.
Well,
things,
Clive
right?
Barker was willing to go places that other horror movie people weren't,
Yes.
and that's what made him interesting. But also, I know I read a bunch of his stuff, and then I just thought too much. You know what I mean? Probably, did you ever read H.P. Lovecraft?
I've read some of it. Yeah.
It's like mountains of the Antarctica mountains.
Yeah,
it's like it's great, and then it just keeps going, and after a while it sucks. I'm like, I was sitting there reading that, saying, why isn't this a movie? It's in public domain. I could write it. And then it keeps going on. And it's like it just piles too much on. And I don't know. I have that same feeling about Barker, that he was going out of his way to try to make himself different than like Stephen King and some of these other people. And because Stephen King, for all his stuff, is actually very traditional. I think he deals with a lot of traditional monster mythology and things
Stephen
like
King.
That. Yeah, Stephen King.
But if you read what he wrote in It, which I've never read,
I've read
all the sexual stuff those kids were doing.
Yeah,
There was one scene.
I'm sure
they all have sex with her.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more.
Wait,
but
what?
okay, so let me ask you this: this movie comes out. Did any other movies, copy it or homage to it or the themes?
Cabin in the
Well,
not the
that's
theme.
what 2014 that came out, right? So that was an homage to all slasher and horror movies.
I honestly can't think of any.
Yeah, because it's in the consciousness. It's there. I know. There's 9 Hellraisers. I know about Pinhead. I don't watch this stuff, but I know about him. So it's there. So it did something, right? I mean, there's. Is it Clive Barker? Is it? I frankly, I just think it's Pinhead, the icon of him. His iconography is so strong. That's why people.
I think that the visuals are what, really,
So it is great makeup.
It's great makeup. We didn't talk about the scene where it's the actress Kirsty is having Kirsty's boyfriend is having a nightmare where
we were just watching that. Yeah,
she's standing in front of this bed with these feathers falling everywhere, and there's this body under the bed, and just blood starts flowing. Now
she's watching it. Kirsty is watching it. Kirsty, and you're wondering, is this snow? And they didn't have any snow, so they went with feathers from a pillow. And then it's blood, and you hear a baby crying.
It's still a strong image, so I feel like a lot of it's the strong imagery is what makes it stand out, as well as thematically. It's
if you watch number 2, 2 is all imagery, no structure. Again, that movie literally you could reverse.
I didn't even bother trying to.
You could move shots around, push shots. It wouldn't matter because it's all just imagery. It's just.
The nightmares never end for a young woman. Memories of her father's skinned corpse, her uncle's reanimated body, but the worst is yet to come. Oh, so I thought it was just going to be the same thing again.
That description sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Right there. What's that movie?
Hellbound 2.
Oh my God.
See, the cover for this one looks more like...
Yeah, but the story is conventional other than the incestual relationship stuff. The story is conventional. He's dead. It's Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. It's very conventional. It's only the elements and the visuals that are really make it strong. And I don't blame the bad acting on the actors. I think they were bad. I think they were probably badly directed.
That's what I think, too.
I mean, that's the hardest thing, I think, for newcomer directors is how to handle the actors.
Yeah, sure.
Especially in something like this, which is kind of complicated, and what these people are feeling, and the director's supposed to be the one who's supposed to modulate. And I think he failed to modulate, how these people were supposed to be feeling at any given time. So, for a for a first-time director, it's not bad. Compare this to what was that? Not Jim Jarmusch, the one where something Eraserhead or something like that.
David Lynch.
Yeah. Compare this to that. That's which is another kind of weird, disturbing kind of a film, and it's not. you know, I think where this fails, where some other interesting independent films succeeded, is in the sense that this is really, although it's transgressive, as you say, it really tried to be a mainstream movie. It wasn't an art film. I think if he put aside the mainstream sensibility, like this is going to be a horror film that's going to open, well, back then probably 500 theaters, you know, if he put that aside and went a little further in making it even weirder, it would probably be, you know, considered a great art film of the 80s or something. But
it can't. The acting is just too bad. It's just, you just can't. You can't get above. I can't get beyond how bad. I mean, yeah, I can appreciate the effects. I can appreciate the fact that, you know, for the money they had, what they pulled off was pretty good. But the acting is just so horrendous. And whose fault is that? I mean, I've seen Robinson in other movies, and you go, it couldn't have been him. It can't be. You can't be that good in one and this bad in another. It's got to be the direction. And it may be that they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
That he was making it up as he went along.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, he was a writer.
Okay,
It's
but
not like
still,
he-
he's
it was
directing
not-
a movie. I'm
It's
looking
not-
at it. I'm looking
It's not
at
like
it.
he was a photographer or anything.
Doesn't matter. I'm looking at it as a movie. I don't care.
Writers spend their time in rooms by themselves.
That's
you know,
fine.
that-
So he directed badly, and it made a crappy movie for me. Now, forget all. You're right. As a writer, his transgressive themes are all in there, but his execution was terrible in my mind. But I couldn't take my eyes off it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
I
And that
think-
thing
I
at the
think
end
there's
with
a
the
good-
face and the Jesus. What's he say? Jesus
wept.
Jesus wept. I mean,
The small.
where
What
did
a thing? Where did that come from?
who?
That's the Bible. It's the
Yeah.
shortest verse in the Bible. When at the
I
grave
think-
of Lazarus,
yeah, right.
Really?
they say
The whole-
Jesus wept.
Yeah.
It's the shortest verse of the Bible.
Wait,
Interesting.
what?
It's
See,
the
this
shortest
movie
verse
may
of
be
the
more
Bible.
complicated than I'm giving it
When
credit
what
for.
about Lazarus?
When Lazarus was dead, and because Jesus got there too late to heal him, Jesus stood at the grave and it said Jesus wept, and it's the shortest verse in the
So
Bible.
it's like because he's about to die and he can't be brought back to life. That's why he
Wait a
repeated
minute.
it.
He's-
in the use of this in the movie, no, I think it was just ironic.
they were going to use "fuck you,"
Yeah,
but Robinson said, "Let me just try this one."
yeah.
And he did Jesus wept, and they kept that in.
Is that really there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No,
According
that
to
is
IMDb.
that is actually such a cool line to
Yeah.
put in there.
yeah.
Plus, then it's like Alien, you know.
That's what I mean. I mean, you're right. There are some themes in here that are pretty, heavy.
And it's good that, considering that
It's just
that's
the
the character's
execution is
last
so-
line, you would think that the writer, who is a writer, would have come up with the classic line of that the actor just on the spot
I don't know on the spot, but
kills it, by coming up with something even better.
Yeah, but how many?
That's
times?
good, but that's what collaborative
Of
filmmaking
course,
is about.
That's right. Well, let's talk about it. You're going to need a bigger boat. I
Yeah.
think was an ad lib.
Yeah.
I don't think that was in the script. So yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. I think you successfully.
Well, no. Hassan, did you ever give your full opinion on this one?
Yeah, I said
It's terrible.
pretty
We
good.
heard
It's okay.
what we need to hear from him. Okay, we've heard.
I don't wanna talk
I
about
just
it.
always
just-
want Hassan.
I understand, and I appreciate.
We're
that.
trying to hit some demographics.
I actually
with it.
think
That was-
Al sold this one pretty good.
Yeah.
I have to say it's changed my. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, but
I
it
did.
did.
I think it should. I think people should watch it at least once.
I don't disagree with that.
Whether you love it or hate it, doesn't
Yeah, I
matter.
know you should. I mean, again, because he's so iconic, the character, and knowing those themes. And maybe I'm just too stupid when I watch these movies and I don't care about the themes. Knowing that theme and what you explained, it kind of helps a little bit, because some of the stuff I just can't get past.
If I met Pinhead, I'd probably like it more too.
I think or his girlfriend.
Or his girlfriend.
Right. All right. Well, that's another
Episode. Do we rate it or
I'll rate it.
is it 5 barrels?
No.
I mean 1 out of 5 or
the five
five is
yellow
good.
barrels that's the top. I'm gonna say 1.5 barrels.
Give it 2.
I'm gonna give it. It's weird because I'm gonna give it 1.5 too, but I liked it a lot better than you.
Yeah, you did.
But as a film, there's a lot I liked about it. But as a film,
But
it still doesn't work.
you understand things like subtext better than I can. So that makes sense. What'd you give it?
I'm giving it the same one you did, 1.5.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
But I liked it better.
Yeah.
1.53.
Yeah,
we don't break
1.53.
No, it's half. Okay, wait.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I give it a 5 out of 5
course,
barrels.
5 barrels. I wouldn't expect anything.
That's a
less
big
than
number.
that.
I didn't even give
Well,
Birdman
that's
a 5 out of 5.
You didn't? What'd you give it? A 4?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Proud of you, kid. All right, well, there
Suck
you go.
it. 5 out
but
of
I'll
5.
say this: I'll give you 5 barrels of the way you sold it. Okay, you sold it
thank you.
very well.
And it's good for you to walk in here with Hellraiser.
Yeah, he wore a T-shirt.
That is
fantastic.
You know, and you wore
All right.
a T-shirt.
Well, there you go. We'll see what happens. I think I picked the next. Well, we're just gonna round robin the picks. We don't know who it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be me. But
well, you're the boss, so
there you go. So that's it. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Thanks.
You'll hear us next time. Auf Wiedersehen.
Please join us next time as we discuss the film Cinema Paradiso with a special guest. And also, please visit our website at yippe-ki-yay motherpodcast.com.